A. Vacation days. A recent study has revealed that American workers are taking less time off from work than at any point in the past 4 decades. In fact, more than half the workers surveyed said they are not using all their paid vacation days. The study found that lack of support was the main reason. Most workers felt discouraged from taking vacations by their supervisors, and some workers were concerned that if they took time off, they would appear less reliable and less valuable to the company. Not taking vacations has various downsides. For example, if workers do not take time to refresh themselves, they often end up taking more time to complete work tasks. Some experts believe that giving workers time off can make workers more productive. These experts suggest that companies should encourage their workers to take more vacation time.
B. Online crowdfunding. These days, people often use online crowdfunding to raise money for certain projects, such as developing video games. With crowdfunding, these people can collect small amounts of money from many people, which means they do not need to rely on banks to fund their projects. Now, some people are also using online crowdfunding to attract investment to start a business or company. However, online crowdfunding can be a source of problems. It is not strictly regulated, so it is difficult for investors to check how well a company is doing or how the company is using the money it is given. In some cases, dishonest individuals have even used online crowdfunding to pay their apartment rent or other unrelated expenses. Governments are considering tougher regulations to protect investors from criminals. In the meantime, governments are warning investors to research new companies very carefully before investing in them.
C. The Lincoln Highway. During the early days of automobiles in the U.S., railroads were the main form of long-distance transportation, and automobiles were usually seen as expensive luxuries. However, in 1913, a group of automobile manufacturers began building the first coast-to-coast road, the Lincoln Highway. They hoped that this highway, which went from New York to San Francisco, would show consumers that automobiles were practical for getting around the country. The Lincoln Highway was expensive to construct, so the builders looked for the shortest route possible. Because of this, the highway did not go to some large cities, which upset the residents of those places. The builders, however, believed the most important thing was to get the highway built. They knew that connecting roads could be easily constructed later. In time, the Lincoln Highway became the most famous road in the U.S. and greatly improved the country's transportation system.
D. Reforming the British Postal Service. Before 1840, the British Postal Service was complicated. The cost of a letter delivery depended on the distance it was sent and the number of pages. Also, it was the receiver, not the sender, who paid. This system required numerous clerks to process letters and collect money. However, a man named Rowland Hill helped introduce a system where the sender paid in advance by buying a stamp. The new system also charged the same price for all letters. Hill's simpler system removed the need for many of the clerks and helped reduce postal service costs. After Hill's system was introduced, there were some interesting side effects. Since cost was not decided by the number of pages, people began writing longer letters, and they began to use envelopes to put them in. Also, people knew the contents of a letter would remain secret if they used envelopes, so it became more common to include sensitive business documents or personal information.
E. The history of the heart. Today, everyone knows the heart is an organ that pumps blood through the body. This has not always been the case, however. Ancient Egyptians, for example, thought the human soul was located in the heart. The Egyptians believed the heart would be weighed by a goddess at the entrance to paradise, to decide whether the dead person's soul could enter. The symbol of the heart also has an interesting history. It was first used 5,000 years ago in the Middle East, but historians do not know what it meant. However, early Christians used it as a symbol of life after death, and in some countries it became a symbol of courage. In the 12th century, it began to appear in paintings of love scenes. At that time, the human heart itself was also becoming associated with feelings of love, and the symbol became linked to that.
F. Homework. In the early 1900s, many parents in the U.S. did not want schools to assign homework because they needed their children to help them with farm work or housework. Moreover, experts warned that homework was unhealthy for children because it took away their time to play. However, later in the 20th century, education was increasingly seen as important for children's success, so schools began assigning more homework. Now, some researchers are questioning whether homework is beneficial or not. Recent studies have shown that too much of it may lower children's test scores. Other research has linked increased homework to decreased physical health. Because of this, some people want to ban homework. Most researchers, however, believe that it is best to simply limit the amount of homework given. This way, children can benefit from extra studying without risking their health. G. You have 10 seconds to read the situation and question number 25.
Great weather today, huh? It's hard to believe we had such strong winds yesterday. Speaking of which, some trees have fallen down on Ridgetop Path, so that route's closed. Still, if you're up for something physically demanding, you could try heading up Spyglass Hill. It's accessible by taking Overlook Trail. The starting point for that trail is on the other side of the park, so it's a long hike. For something less demanding, you could hike along the beach to Whalers Cove.
H. You have 10 seconds to read the situation and question number 26.
You're a bit late starting the internship application process. There was a workshop to improve students' interview skills, but unfortunately that's just finished. Anyway, you've got to start sending your resume out in the next few weeks. Before that, however, you have to decide the type of company you want to aim for. As an economics major, you have several options. So I can give you a personality test to find out which type of work best suits you. After looking at the results, we can get started on your resume. I. You have 10 seconds to read the situation and question number 27.
This Saturday is Super Saturday, McLaren Megastore's biggest sales event. Each year, hundreds of customers wait in line to get huge savings of between 30 and 60%. But if you want to avoid the big weekend crowds, you can now come in Friday between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. for our pre-sale event. Unlike Saturday, though, full payment on any items you purchase on the day is required. Also, when you're here, don't forget to register for our Priority Shopper card. This will get you a 10% discount on any additional purchases. You can register after you make your first purchase.
J. You have 10 seconds to read the situation and question number 28.
You'll find our campus easy to get around. In front of us is the library. Colton Hall is that building on the left with the tower. The Engineering and Sciences orientation will be in Colton's auditorium. Jackson Hall, on the right, is where the Humanities orientation will take place. Go to the main lecture room. Business and economics students should meet in the Central Theater of Peterson Hall, which is just beyond the library. After the department orientations are over, everyone should go to the administration building. K. You have 10 seconds to read the situation and question number 29.
I'd recommend a structural change, such as taking out the dividing wall between your kitchen and dining area and putting in an island countertop. This would create an attractive space for entertaining, which will appeal to potential buyers. Alternatively, you could make non-structural changes, such as replacing your wooden floors with white tiles. This would make the kitchen look more modern and bright, raising the apartment's value. Your idea to change all the kitchen lighting to LED will lower the electricity costs. It won't do anything for the resale value, though.
Part 2.
A. High-speed police chases. The number of car accidents caused by high-speed police chases in the United States has increased in recent years. In some cases, innocent people have been killed when police officers or escaping drivers lost control of their vehicles. As a result, in 2014, some police departments changed their policy on chases. They banned officers from chasing drivers who failed to stop, except when serious crimes had been committed. When criminals realized they would not be chased, however, crime rates increased. To solve this problem, some police departments have been using a piece of equipment called Star Chase. Star Chase can be installed on police cars and used to shoot a small GPS tracking device at a vehicle. The device sticks to the vehicle, and software allows police to see where the vehicle goes without the need for a dangerous high-speed chase.
B. The Bronze Age. About 5,000 years ago, it was discovered that bronze could be produced by melting copper and adding a metal such as tin to it. Bronze is harder and more durable than the metals used to make it. By using bronze, some civilizations, such as those in Mesopotamia, began to develop superior tools and weapons. As a result, these Bronze Age civilizations became extremely powerful. Although copper was common in the Bronze Age, tin mines were only found in a few places. Tin, therefore, became increasingly valuable, and more people wanted to trade for it. This led to significant growth in imports and exports of various goods between civilizations. The Bronze Age lasted until about 1000 BC. By then, a new process that improved the quality of iron had been discovered, leading to the production of iron tools and weapons that were superior to those made of bronze.
C. Gertrude Bell. Gertrude Bell was a British woman born in 1868. She studied history at Oxford University, and from the early 1900s she lived in the Middle East, working as a writer, archaeologist, and linguist. During her travels, she gained a deep knowledge of the languages and cultures of the Middle East, and she became one of a small number of Westerners trusted by Arab tribes. After World War I started, Bell was asked by British officials to help them at their office in Cairo, Egypt. She advised the officials on which tribes were friendly toward the British, and she even helped the British Army navigate the desert. When the country of Iraq was formed after the war, Bell played an important part in decisions regarding its leaders and how its government should be set up. However, critics say much of the violence and political trouble in Iraq today was caused by those decisions.
D. Banking on immigrants. Today in the United States, many immigrants have no bank account. It is often said that they are unable to open one because they lack English skills or do not understand the banking system. However, some small banks are starting to attract more immigrants as customers. They are doing this by reducing the personal identification requirements necessary when immigrants open an account at the bank. Many banks also have staff members who can explain the procedures in each customer's native language. In the past, many banks had been reluctant to offer loans to immigrants for homes or new businesses. The banks believed that immigrants might not pay back the loans. However, studies have shown that immigrants are just as likely to repay their loans as the general population is.
E. City robots. Researchers in Britain are working on a big project in the city of Leeds. They are creating machines that will look after the city's infrastructure. For example, robots will move through underground pipes, constantly monitoring and maintaining them. Likewise, drones will inspect roads at night and even make minor repairs before the road conditions worsen and cause problems for drivers. The researchers claim that such regular maintenance will make lengthy street closures in busy downtown areas unnecessary. Some people have long been worried that robots will completely replace human workers, leading to more unemployment. But the researchers heading this project say the tasks the robots will perform are often dangerous for humans. Replacing workers with robots will allow humans to perform less hazardous work. Furthermore, researchers claim that making the machines may lead to new jobs being created.
F. The revolver. In the 1830s, an American inventor named Samuel Colt created a new type of pistol called the revolver. At the time, most pistols could only fire one bullet before needing to be reloaded, but Colt's revolver could shoot 6. This feature made it hugely popular, and the revolver helped people defend themselves against criminals and also against wild animals in rural areas. Although Samuel Colt wanted his revolvers to be used for self-defense, some historians believe they had a negative effect on society. Until the 1840s, the murder rates in Britain and the United States were very similar. However, after the revolver was invented, the murder rate began to rise quickly in the U.S. Some historians believe that the increase was due to Americans having easy access to the revolver. In Britain, however, gun control laws remained strict, helping to prevent a rise in the murder rate.
Part 3.
G. You have 10 seconds to read the situation and question number 25.
Normally, for a couple in your age group, I'd recommend Medical Basic or Health Plus. The Medical Basic plan is $130 a month and offers general medical coverage, but doesn't include dental or eye care. However, those options are included with Health Plus, which is $160 a month. We also have the Premium Care plan, which includes dental and is $190 a month. Total Medical, which includes all extras, is $230 monthly. If you're planning a family, either of these last two plans would cover any children you might have in the future.
H. You have 10 seconds to read the situation and question number 26.
I know some of you are finding the textbook difficult. Remember that tutors are available to help, so speak with the department secretary if you're interested. I've also decided to prepare handouts for you. It's also a good idea to complete the supplementary exercises at the back of the chapters we cover, but you won't get extra credit for doing any of those things. I will, however, give additional credit for writing a paper related to a chapter we're not covering. See me after class for more details about what's expected. I. You have 10 seconds to read the situation and question number 27.
There's a great place on White Road with spacious rooms and a private parking lot, but it's not available for a couple of months. 3 other options are available immediately. The first is on Clay Street. It's a little smaller but has large windows, so it's bright. It also has a private parking lot. We have another possibility on Shelley Drive, which is fairly new. And finally, there's a nice little place on Collins Avenue. The Shelley Drive and Collins Avenue apartments have free parking, but it's on the street, not private. Let me know what you think.
J. You have 10 seconds to read the situation and question number 28.
Thank you for calling ABC Trust Bank Security Hotline. Please choose from the following options to assist us in directing your call. If you wish to report a lost or stolen credit card, press 1. If you wish to report purchases that you didn't make, press 2. If you wish to check the progress of an existing claim, press 3. If you wish to change the payment terms and conditions for your card, press 4. For all other inquiries, press 0. A representative will be with you shortly. K. You have 10 seconds to read the situation and question number 29.
This suede jacket has several stains, but our leather cleaning service can take care of them. The spots where the color's faded are another story, though. It looks like you've used a home leather cleaning kit on it. That doesn't work on suede, which is why it has faded a little. Honestly, the store downtown that specializes in leather products would be your best bet. They could bring back the original color. It won't be cheap, but it might be worth it. In any case, it would certainly be cheaper than buying a new jacket.